Ay, 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 ay. I am back with more reality rants about Singles Inferno season 5. And oh my goodness, there seems to be drama everywhere I turn. Before I continue though, please remember to subscribe to this channel so that I can keep bringing you all the tea from all the shows and stuff I like to watch. Anyways, moving on. So we stopped at episode 6 with Egon, Goyun, and Heijin, and Heon, Jaejin, and Sumin in paradise. Now, while they were having fun in paradise, back on Inferno, we were transported into Minasu's whirlwind of emotions. Quick shout out to this particular season's production because I like the fact that we spent more time in Inferno as opposed to the couples just running to paradise at every episode. Now, at this point, right, Subim has started giving Minasu the cold shoulder and directing all of his attention to Haesun. And this made Minasu really sad and jealous, and she got kind of reckless with the way she was behaving. Now, what made me a little bit uncomfortable with this was the fact that I couldn't really tell if Subim actually liked Haesun or if Subim was paying attention to Haesun just to make Minasu upset. Anyway, Minasu then ended up approaching Sung Il, even though she was hesitant about how Minji would take it. And look, I know it's a reality show. I'm not expecting all the girls to be girls, but I do feel like it's a bit irritating when Minasu would tell Minji one thing and then do the complete opposite and expect Minji to be okay with it, right? Doesn't make sense. Anyway, it didn't stop there. She then decided to approach Yeonwoo simply because Yeonwoo made a comment about her being similar to the new game changer Haeyoon. And I'm like, that is not enough reason for you to be interested in the guy because you want to prove to him that you're different and you're the best thing after sliced bread. Why? Anywho, while talking to Yeonwoo, she spent the whole time talking about Subim. And as entertaining as it is to see Minasu, completely lose it all over the place, it can be quite tiring, especially because the more I watch her, the more I realize and understand that the person she really likes is Subim, but then she's self-sabotaging. I got really annoyed with the conversation that she had with Sung Hoon about her fellow castmates. This was a bad look. She felt like she was being iced out and that they didn't care about her. Then she went on to talk about all the things she supposedly done to be nice to her female castmates. Nah, she didn't have to do that. It came off as petty and immature and condescending. She even had the nerve to say that she was cooler than everyone. Then in the next instant, she broke down in tears. And honestly, what it showed me was that Minasu's confidence is built on her insecurities. Like, it's a front, and when she isn't noticed, she tends to feel small. Not having Subim talk to her rattled her, and it just brought out a side of her that I don't think we should have seen. Anyway, she's human, but it was a bad look. It was a really bad look. I feel like if that particular scene had not happened, people would still give her the benefit of doubt and the audience would not be reacting to her in such a way. But that conversation, it was messy, it was icky, it was just wrong to me. Anyway, thanks to her, we don't have a dull moment on Inferno while everybody else is in paradise, so at least she kept us engaged. When the Paradise couples came back to rejoin the group, we now had our second game of the season. I can't wait for the girls to have their first game, by the way. I think it's going to be very, very spicy. That being said, the game that the guys played was tournament style, and they basically had to fight inside a pool of water for control of a giant-sized ball. No pun intended. The battles were really fierce. I'm going to be very honest. Every single one of the guys got some kind of scrape or bruise because they were wrestling each other so hard in the water. Minji was really anxious during this game, by the way, because she was certain that Sung Il would choose Minasu for the dates. And I felt really sad for her because, look, as much as Sung Il annoys me, he's been honest the whole time about the fact that he's interested in both her and Minasu, but it doesn't feel great to be an option to a guy. right? Anyways, after the two rounds, the winners were Youngwoo and Sung Il. By the way, Sung Il was so impressive in the game for me. I'm certain that guy plays judo or some kind of martial arts or something, because there were some technical moves that guy was pulling off to throw down his opponent that were just impressive, like impressive. Youngwoo obviously picks Go Yun to take on the fried chicken date. And then this episode ended with Song Il trying to make a decision, but I'm so thankful he chose Minji, which was a relief, and I think a great way to start the episode. Minji was so emotional, and I was happy for her. Even I was a little bit emotional, but I understand it because she was so anxious throughout the challenge, because she thought she wasn't going to be picked. That's a sucky place to be. Here's how I feel about the current state of things, right? As much as I love how devoted Minji is to Sung Il, I really wish that she would explore other options. At the beginning of the show, she was at the top of most of the guys' lists, but she locked in too quickly. I'm sorry, but Sung Il gives me fuckboy vibes. Also, the guys are way too reserved this season. I feel like the girls are doing all the heavy lifting. They're not making strong moves on the girls. The girls are the ones who are going out of their way to have conversations, or at least they're creating some kind of drama. The guys are just meh. Apart from, even though I don't like him, Sung Min and then Egon, who is the game changer for me. I feel like of all the guys, those are the two guys that are going out of their way to be like, I like you, let's have a conversation. The rest of the cast had dinner at the cafeteria, and the energy was a bit tense as the game changers spoke about their experiences in paradise. Jo Young and Sung Min were particularly uncomfortable hearing that the game changers had such a good time, and understandably, because as much as Jo Young is nice to Hyun Jae, the person that we all know she's into is Jae Jing, and I think they've been a solid couple this season. I wish we got more scenes of them, apart from when they go to paradise, like how they interact on Inferno. We didn't really get to see much backstory for the two of them, and stuff. And we all know that Mr. Sung Min is Mr. Clingy with Goyun. So just hearing that Egon had a good time with Goyun, you could see the wheels turning in his head. Anyway, I, for one, am rooting for Jo Young and Jae Jing so badly. I haven't seen a pair so compatible on any of the 5 seasons of Singles Inferno like these two. Also, am I the only one who thinks Minaso is stringing Sung Il along, by the way? Every time they have a chat, I get the vibe that she's playing with his emotions. She needs him as her support pillow, but she's not really interested in him romantically. The poor dude is there getting his hopes up while Minasu is pining for Subim and friend-zoning Sung-un like it's nothing. I think it's cruel. Which brings me back to Minasu. Oh, my tiramisu, my choi Minasu, my marisun. Quite frankly, Minasu has always liked Subim, like I said earlier, and I believe her insecurities and not wanting to be rejected on camera is what has turned her into a bit of a knucklehead. No offense. If self-sabotage were a person, it would be Minasu. I have to give it to her though. Her messiness has kept us all entertained, and no matter how annoying she is, she's just being herself. Before the evening ran out, she managed to make amends with Subim. They had this really cute conversation where he called her Nuna Ante. And I just sighed because as cute as it was, I knew it wasn't gonna last despite, everything. Anyway, enough about our tiramisu. Can we take a moment to address Subim and Goyon's dynamic? I noticed that a lot of the people that are watching the show kind of see Sungmin as like a solid guy and all of that. But me personally, as I've been watching his interactions with Goyon over the episodes, I really see his behavior as red flag material. I don't mind the fact that he's clear on who it is that he wants, but he's so possessive and he's not giving Goyon any breathing space. He's not allowing her to interact with other people. He's trying to isolate her. He's even almost he's pressuring her and threatening her into ensuring that he's the person that she sticks with. For me personally, it's really uncomfortable to see that, because it makes me feel like this kind of person in the real world would not allow his partner to have an independent life of their own, especially if the partner is someone like Go Yeon. Because Go Yeon, for me, what I was worried about is boundaries. She doesn't shut it down. Even though she does like Min, you can tell that she just says yes and she goes along with certain things, even though you can visibly see that it's making her uncomfortable. I'm not shipping this couple at all. Personally, I prefer her with Egon, because no matter what anybody has to say about Egon, one thing that you notice with their dynamic is she feels free to express herself. So for me, I'm personally shipping her with Egon. Particularly because if you notice her dynamic with Egon, Go feels like she's in her power when she's with Egon. Like, you see that she flirts with confidence, but then she also opens up without feeling pressured. So their conversations end up being a lot more tangible and a lot more sensible. They're not wasting each other's time. When they talk, they're actually getting to know each other. And then we get to see more of Go Yeon's personality. With Subim, she's so subdued. Right? It's kind of weird. That being said, the episode progressed into us having another game, which was hilarious. So basically, they paired up all the cast members and they had to balance on really small planks of wood. And guess what? For the second time in a row rather, Minasu ended up in a trio where she ended up playing the game with Sung Il and Sung Un. And it was hilarious. The producers had the nerve to call them Choi Minasu Trio. I laughed. For the 3 times that they did it, man, you have to watch it to see it. The poses were so ridiculous. I was like, what were they thinking? Like, there had to have been other ways. Anywho, they obviously didn't win that challenge. And the 3 couples that did, they tied, and that went really well. And of course, we then progressed into who's going with who to Paradise yet again. I personally think that the next couple of episodes are going to be absolutely dramatic, and I so cannot wait to see what everyone gets up to this time, especially Minasu, because she does not disappoint with the chaos. Well, if you enjoyed this rant and you agree with me, or you have an opposing opinion about my rant, please rant in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.